I need to be a lot nicer about dealing with people who don't have the truth but are looking for the truth. The ones who reject truth and don't want to hear anything, it's like, okay, just shake the dust. But if somebody is like looking for the truth, and I try to be nice, but sometimes, like, some things you just so obvious, There's a creator. There is a creator. There is a creation. It's in the words. It's in the words. Every word that you speak is actually telling the truth. I can't believe that God allowed me to see as deep as He has. I remember as a child looking for the truth, and all the adults around me, you thought you would ask them and they wouldn't know. And then when God showed me when the Shekinah glory showed up, and He allowed me to see past this reality, it's like, wow. So I need to be really cognizant, I think that's the word, cognizant about dealing with people, because if I have a short fuse, I'm going to get a spanking. I'm going to get a scourging, and I've already been through that so many times. I need to learn my lesson, And so, what am I saying? Like somebody told me one time, she said, they're just not there yet. And that was like a wake-up call, and I need to remember that almost every day, really. They're just not there yet. Meaning, they're not ready for the truth. They're not ready for that deeper truth. They're not ready for archetypes. They're not ready for types and shadows. They're not ready for something that's so obvious, it's like right in front of you. They're just not ready for it, You would think they are.
Welcome to Wendy's. Can I take your order?
As soon as I say that, I get tested in the drive-thru. These people don't want to be caught in the drive-thru not doing their job on time. So they say, can you pull up and wait over there? Because they don't want to be caught for their time, because they're slacking, Which I don't really care, but it's just like, it's like. And then this other girl walks up with a t-shirt on, God is dope. And she's working here with a sweatshirt on, God is dope. She's a believer in the midst of all these unbelievers. It's like, man. So that's really what's happening. I'm looking at the whole picture, I'm looking at the big picture here. And it's like, we're salt in the midst of darkness, They're lazy, they're ignorant, they're rebellious, they're selfish. Prideful, ego. The ego. Self-worship. That's what we were till we got saved, and it's hard to believe when you talk to these people. It's hard to believe you think like that. And the media, the social media, the news, the music, it's all dumbing people down and taking away their spiritual wisdom, They're just sitting there repeating what a song says. Somebody's popular some lost person's gotten popular through the Illuminati Freemason system, and these kids are just repeating the lyrics of that saying over. I mean, they only repeat 2 lyrics over and over and over and over, and they think they're cool because they're just repeating it, and they're just a robot. They're robots. And you sit here and you watch them and talk to them, it's like, you're just a robot. You're not even a human, to be honest with you. I know that sounds mean. Just thank God. Just like, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. While we were ignorant, while we were hell-bound, Jesus went to the cross for us before we were even born. And we were born in some families that were rough. The manager walked outside, and I said, "You got a lot of staff in there?" She said, "They're just kids." I actually got convicted because the only reason we're left here is to win souls and be sanctified, set apart. And they're just kids. Maybe we're trying to figure out a way to witness people at their level. Or the devil has them trapped. The Gentile nation has them trapped. It's kind of like a cult member, but it's a nation. Like people caught up in Scientology. It'd be hard to pull them out unless they just get tired of them. And the whole nation is a cult. Your culture is a cult. So to pull these people out, to yank these people out of the cult, the culture, I guess you have to learn the culture to even pull them out. Because everybody's blind. Whatever culture they're in, their city could be a culture, their state could be a culture, their school could be a culture, their family's definitely a culture, their church, their denomination is a culture. I want you to really think about what I'm going to say. Most people get their identity, I'm talking about saved people. Most people get their identity out of what church they go to. I'm Baptist, I'm Methodist, I'm Pentecostal, or whatever it is. They get their identity out of their denomination or their church instead of Jesus. Your identity is in Jesus. If somebody asks me, what is your doctrine? What is it? How would you describe your doctrine? What denomination would you just set yourself in? Well, my doctrine is the closest doctrine is Independent Baptist. But I don't identify as an Independent Baptist because I don't agree with their legalism. But their doctrine is pretty close, but I don't agree with calling myself an Independent Baptist. I call myself a child of God, sons of God, believer in Jesus, follower of Christ. Am I perfect? No. Are you perfect? No. Are any of us? No. That's why Jesus went to the cross, because we're not. Now we're perfect in Him by faith. Faith alone. Should you do good works? He does it through you. How does He do it through you? He gives you a new heart. It's not you doing it. So when people come at you and they say, "Show me your works," You say, well, it's not my works. I don't have any works. It's all Christ. Is preaching the gospel a work? Is being renewed in the inner man a work? No. Just being. Just who you are. Is walking in the Spirit a work? No, it's dying daily. It's not even, it's actually the opposite. You die daily. It's not a work. You die. Christ in you does the work. Show me your works. What do you mean? My only work I can do is die daily. That's my work. Die daily. I'm dead. Christ liveth in me. It's not me. I'm not doing any works. Christ, if anything good comes out of this vessel, this avatar vessel, this body, this water ship, this body ship, it's a ship. If anything good comes out of this body ship, it's not me doing it, it's Christ doing it. Hello? Let me say that again. This is why people they're religious but lost. They think they're saved, but some people who are saved are still caught up in a works-based system. Show me your works. I don't have any works. Christ works through me. If there's anything good that comes out, it's not me, it's Him working through me. Will you be judged for things done in the body? Yes. And they will say, well, how does that line up with what you just said? Because anytime I try to do work, I mess up and I'm being judged by it. But if I die daily and Christ does the work through me, then I'm not going to be judged for that, because that's the gold, silver, and precious stone, which is Christ. But my works is wood, hay, and stubble. It's going to be burned up, you know. Can anybody hear that? Can anybody hear what I just said? Hello? This is really easy. And it's really simple. But your culture has your denominations have brainwashed you. You got to do something. I can't do anything. What do you mean I got to do something? I can't do anything. I don't have the power. I don't have the strength in myself. Only Christ can do it, and that's why I have to die daily. I would get angry. I would lose my patience. I do sometimes. Ask your spouse if you are Jesus, and they'll say no, they're not Jesus. If somebody claims to be all that, ask their spouse, are they all that? And they say, nope, they're not all that. But if they say, do they try to die daily? Yep, they try to do that. Do they recognize it's Christ in you, the hope of glory, not yourself? Do they recognize? Yeah, they recognize that. Okay, that's what we needed to hear. As soon as you set up rules, as the very moment you set up a rule, it's going to be broken. The very instant you set up a rule, it's already broken. Hello? Let me say that again. I don't care if it's in a home. I don't care if it's in a church. I don't care if it's on the job. As soon as you set up a rule, you might as well consider that the rule has been broken, because nobody can keep rules. This is why the corporate system it drains your soul so much, because you're trying to keep up with all the rules and nobody can do it. The letter of the law killeth. Let's say I was a smoker, and I said I'm going to quit smoking. I'm not going to smoke anymore. And I've been smoking for 20 years. As soon as I set the rule, I fell. But instead of having that mindset, and you say, okay, I'm addicted to smoking, and it could be anything. It could be drinking. It could be anything. Okay, so let's say you have an addiction, anything. So I'm addicted to smoking for 20 years. And I say, well, I'm going to quit. And you fail every time, right? So what's the real answer? You go moment by moment. As soon as you have that urge to smoke, you die. You die daily. And if it does something to constricts your blood veins or whatever, instead of taking a cigarette to feel better, take a 30 milligram aspirin or whatever it is to make it through it. I want a cigarette in 2 hours, die. I want a cigarette in 4 hours, die. One day, die to it daily. Another day, die to it daily. And this is probably what they learned in that Alcoholics Anonymous. That's probably what they say. That's probably why they say I'm always alcoholic, but you're not. You're actually not. If you're saved, your identity's in Christ, so you change your identity. Instead of smoking, go outside and do some push-ups, or learn something on the computer, or every time you have urge to smoke, do something else. Die to it. Clean your house. Do some artwork or something. But my point is, we have to die. It's not our good works. If somebody came to me and said, show me your good works, I'd say I don't have any. You got to have at least, they'd say, well, you got to have at least one good deed that you did. Nope, I have none, zero. If it looks like I have done a good deed on the outside, it's not me doing it, it's Christ in me that did it. Yeah, but I saw you give that homeless person $5 or whatever. Oh, really? You thought that was me? Most of the time I'm mad. I don't know their story, but a lot of times I'm mad because they're standing there 8 hours and they could be working a job. You know how hard it would be to stand there for 8 hours? But it's probably some kind of mental, the reason is probably some kind of mental thing. And so instead of me getting mad and say, hey, you got more, your health is better than mine. Why should I give you? Instead of getting mad, try to understand where they're coming from. But you know, who has the time to talk to them? You never know. Some of them might be angels. It all is a test, I guess. But it's pushing you towards the mind of Christ. And it just makes you mad. In the old Adam. In Adam, we all die. The old Adam. It just makes you mad sometimes when you see stuff that's... You know, there is such a thing as righteous anger, you know. It makes you mad when people deny the Bible, deny Scripture, deny God, deny the obvious, you know. And it makes me, the thing that makes me mad the most is people trying to gaslight me. and they think you can't see through them. That happened to me tonight. So I picked up this Amazon worker, and he got in the car, and he said, can we go to this address instead? I put the wrong, because the bank's closed. I knew that was a lie. I've done this 1,000 times. And I said, no, I can't do that. It has to be the address. It creates a red flag, you know. The insurance is not covered if we go a different route. And I said, you can change the destination. I'll wait. He reached his hand, his phone towards me and says, can you do it? I said, no, I don't know how to do it. He said, well, I don't know how to do it. I said, well, okay. Meaning it's over. The ride is over. I said, did somebody inside do it for you? He said, no, I did it. I said, did somebody inside set up the initial ride? He said, no, I did it. And then all of a sudden I see the phone click over, and it was like $5 extra. He was trying to cheat the system and thought I would just put up with it. He was a liar. He was actually a psychopath. I could tell just the way he talked. He was a liar, psychopath, trying to gaslight me to get me to pay for his ride. That kind of stuff makes me mad. But instead of getting mad, I thought, okay, that's part of the process. That's part of the system. We got scammers everywhere you look. And one day they might wake up, maybe not. That's the way it works, you know. Long story short, I stayed calm. I didn't let it bother me. I treated him like any other rider. It was nice the whole ride, you know. And I was going to record something about it, and I forgot about it till just now. It just came back to my mind. But I'm glad it went out of my mind, because you don't want to hold on to anything like that. And it's such a minor thing. But these people think that they have a new game. There's no new game. You can see through them. You can see them a mile away. Even the way they text, you know something's up. All right. I don't know what the title is, because I don't even know what it's about. But I'll re-listen and come up with a title.